Time to break down the rest of the stages from day one of the 2017 IPSC World Shoot. For those of you who don't know me, welcome. My name is Julie Golob. I'm a professional competition shooter sharing my passion for shooting sports and safe, responsible gun ownership. Thank you for stopping by. And to all my subscriber peeps, thank you for tuning in to another stage breakdown video. A quick recap here with a new perspective. I am so excited because this week I found my lost micro SD cards from the match. So I have headcam footage of many of the stages, and that's what you're seeing right now. You may have noticed I have a camera on my hat brim, and I've been using a tachyon gun cam for a while to help get this additional perspective. They just came out with a new, smaller, and lighter version, and they sent one to me. I cannot wait to try it out, and if you'd like to see a video on this, let me know in the comments section below. All right, so we left off on stage 14, my third stage of the afternoon of the first day of the World Shoot, and it also happened to be my worst stage performance in the match. This is not what I wanted. I had a miss, no shoot on this one. This miss penalty combination, it just destroys your point tally for a course of fire because you not only get two 10-point penalties, but you also miss out on the potential 5 points that you could have received by making a hit in the highest scoring zone, the A zone. Now, I'm going to be honest with you all, it is not a realistic goal to expect to shoot a clean match, meaning absolutely no misses or penalties at this world level. Especially not knowing or being able to examine the courses of fire ahead of time, it's also a very long week. Now, it's certainly possible, but remember, in practical shooting, your score for an individual stage is derived from your hit factor, the points you shoot on a stage divided by your time. So if you take a lot of extra time making sure you get perfect hits, you're probably shooting too slow to win. There's definitely a fine balance between speed and accuracy. I talk about this a bit in my What is IPSC video, and if you haven't watched that video, I'll leave it linked in the cards. A little more perspective for you on misses and penalties. Did anyone shoot a clean match? Well, Elias Frangoulis, who won gold overall in the Classic division, had 2 misses and 2 additional penalties. Of the women's world champions in each division, Maria Gushtina in production, Carla Blowers in open, Christine Burkhalter in standard, Vera Treskova in revolver, and yours truly in classic, we all had misses and penalties. Even the great Eric Grofel, the most decorated IPSC champion, had 2 misses and a penalty in the match. So, we know they are likely going to happen, but that said, it certainly doesn't feel good when you hit a no-shoot or find less hits on the target than you should. So, stage 14 served as a wake-up call reminder for me to settle down and really watch my sights. It is way too easy to be tempted to try to shoot faster to try to make up for a poor performance. But that's the last thing I wanted, considering the stages and it being the first day in a long competition. So let's get into stage 17, a 21-round medium course of fire with 9 paper targets and 3 mini poppers. This stage was beautiful with a replica of the Eiffel Tower, and you had several openings and doorways to engage targets. There were also 2 mirror image Cooper tunnels. A Cooper tunnel is just a neat little challenge where if you dislodge one of the upper sticks, you receive a procedural penalty. Now, these were both rather tall Cooper tunnels, and for someone my size, I'll be honest, not too much of a challenge. Of course, I certainly wasn't going to take them for granted either. A little pro tip here on Cooper tunnels, especially the lower and the longer the tunnel, I'll often flip my hat around so that the brim doesn't prevent me from seeing the end and those last penalty sticks. The odds of dislodging one or more are much higher at the beginning and the end of the tunnel, especially when you're wearing a brimmed hat. One thing I appreciated about this stage is the flexibility in the start position. I love the freedom of being able to start anywhere in a shooting area. This isn't something I've seen so much of at World Shoots over the years. If anything, world shoots I've competed in the past have had some crazy specific start positions. But allowing shooters to start anywhere makes it more fair for everyone. Think right-handed versus left-handed competitors, those who have physical challenges. It allows open race guns to maximize movement and those lower capacity divisions to really plan their reloads more efficiently. Yep, I am definitely a fan. I opted to start on the right side, right in front of the tunnel. This set me up to see the first 3 targets after the draw. I needed to be careful through the tunnel, and as soon as I was clear, planned to make my reload on the way to the middle doorway. From there, it was just a matter of shooting what I could see from right to left. After that, the plan was to head straight to the front edge of the left Cooper tunnel, where I could batch 2 target arrays and finish up on targets 1 through 4 from just one position. I shot this stage in 22.4 seconds with 17 A's and 4 C's, good for 57th overall, and a stage win for the Classic Ladies. It was solid, I felt good, and it helped me get back on track. Moving on to stage 16, we came up on another short course. Stage 16 featured an empty gun start, so 12 rounds, 2 reloads with a classic pistol, and as a little extra flair, all your magazines had to be placed on the table. There were no no-shoots or even small far targets on this one, but there was definitely a challenge. Your hands were literally tied to the table. Ooh. With the ropes tied around your wrists, there was just enough to play with to be able to get 2 hands on the grip of the pistol, but it was definitely taut and not an ideal shooting stance by any means. You'll see in the footage how I took several extra shots on this one at the beginning because I couldn't really get behind the gun exactly the way I wanted to. Even though it was a relatively simple stage layout, it tested my coordination by having to remember exactly what I needed to do within the stage. From mag placement to body positioning and being tied up, literally, this one was a good one. As far as the actual plan, you can see the target order here. I wanted to shoot MP2 first because it was easy to access from the start. A hard shift left would allow me to engage the left array with an easy transition to the middle 2 targets. Another reload to give me enough ammo to finish up on the last 3 targets, and then I was done. If there's one regret I have from this stage, I'd have used the table as support more. You'll see I rest my gun right on the table for the last target, and I made that decision on the fly after all the makeup shots from the first couple of positions. That little extra time to set the gun down would have allowed me to shoot better points and therefore make fewer shots.
Are you ready? And bye.
I ended up 4th among the Classic Ladies on this stage. My Team USPSA teammate, Maggie Reese, took the stage win on this one. Yay, Maggie! Yes! Yelena Savkovic, Grace Tamayo, and I, we were all just piled up together in the results on this one with just 3 points separating the 3 of us. A stage win is always the goal, but I was well within the hunt on this one. Next up, stage 17 and the last stage of the day. At this point, I was pretty tired. It was a long, hot afternoon, and this stage was an intense one. This was the one long field course of the day, and as far as long, yeah, it lived up to the title. The stage diagram on this one is just a tiny bit off, and I can tell you, just walking up on this stage, it was when I really had to make the most of the walkthrough time. First step is locate all of the targets and see what you can see from each position. You'll see in the shooting video how I set up for several positions that allowed me to batch targets together, both on the right and the left side of the winding road / shooting area. Now, some of you might ask, why not just shoot all of these targets on the move? Wouldn't that be faster? Wouldn't that be better? Well, first, there were some really tough shots on this one. Even though the targets were wide open, they used up this huge bay with targets well past 40 yards. Normally, when you shoot this kind of a far target in course of fire, it's on a standards or stationary type of stage. This one had you not only shooting far targets up front at the beginning of the stage, but also at the very end with all that running in between. So yeah, this one was a tough one. Going into the stage, I knew points would be everything. If all went well, it would take me well over 40 seconds. That meant I needed to shoot as many points as possible with no misses. Run fast, shoot slow, as necessary. To add to it, you can see the lighting is different for this stage, with the sun starting to go down. A change in lighting like this can make hitting targets, especially ones that are out there, even harder. I remember thinking, control, A-zone. That was my focus right before the buzzer. It's funny what you remember even after all these years. The plan, draw, and sweep through the 4 targets I could see from right to left. This gave me a few extras so that I could make some makeups, and I planned to shoot 3 on the last target in this array, the far one. For the record, I did have 3 hits on that one, but I was happy for the makeup. Next, time to move up with a reload, advancing to the first bend where I could see 3 more targets and shoot left to right. Another move up a little further down the path made T12 and T13 visible. This made 10 rounds and another reload moving up to the next bend for T11 on the right. After this target, the end of the stage is in sight. Next, it was a fun target to take on the move before the other 2 targets became visible in this next array. This kind of target, the one that you can take on the move where you've been aiming so hard at everything else, is what I call a teaser. It fools you into shooting faster, and it's something I definitely kept in my mind because to finish up, I had 1 more reload and 3 targets still to shoot. Moving into the next position, the stacked targets T8 and 9, and at the end, you'll see a low port with just 1 target to shoot from this low window, and that's T2, a target that was actually further away than even T1 all the way back at the beginning. I saw how several shooters plan to take a knee for this low port, but with all of my years competing at Bianchi Cup, going prone all the time at 50 yards, I know the value of putting the gun on the ground in prone, especially after all that running. This was a no-brainer for me. The only thing I needed to be careful of for this last target were my feet, making sure they stayed inside the fault lines to avoid a potential procedural or more, a 10-point penalty for stepping out of bounds. I wish my C count was lower on this one, but I had all of my hits and shot this stage just under 50 seconds. Yeah, almost a minute of shooting. It seemed to take forever, but my performance on this stage resulted in 33rd overall in Classic and another stage win among the Classic ladies. So I was very, very happy. And what a relief to finish so strongly on this one at the end of the day. It was definitely a long one, and I had an hour drive back to my home away from home for the night. I shot in the afternoon for day one, and for day two, it would be a morning start, a very early morning start. A fast dinner, shower, prep for the morning, and then to bed for that early wake up for day two was on the agenda. So what a first day, huh? Low ports, mini targets, Cooper tunnels, getting tied up, double reloads on short courses, and a huge, or should I say huge, long course to finish things up. Do y'all have a favorite stage from this particular day? One that you'd like to shoot? I don't know. Let me know in the comment section below. For day two, we head to Africa. Not literally, but that was the zone, and I'm excited to share this with you. As always, if you like this video, please hit the like button, please subscribe if you haven't already, and make sure you hit the bell for notifications. Yeah, this has been fun. Thanks so very much for watching, and until the next one, be safe and have fun.